Hello everybody, guess who I am with right now, okay? I'm with Dragon Tan and we are actually live streaming from Malaysia, in fact from my house in Malaysia, okay? And we are very privileged to have him here to give us an update of what I think the Singapore market is right now. And I'll be happy to, I'll be very happy that you all can and first give a like and hit subscribe, and more importantly that if you have any question you can write on the comments below and I'll get Dragon Tan to answer for you. Okay. Yep. So one more thing about for those people who don't know who Dragon Tan is, he was once known as the king of EC. Okay, he actually helped many clients transacted a lot of EC. He himself stayed in EC, although he can well afford much bigger houses. You can buy 10 of these houses, okay, that I'm staying right now. But he humbly rented a condo in near Mid Valley. Okay, so I think which is very good that we have him here today. So I'm gonna ask a few questions where I know you guys are very keen to know. Okay, so first of all, thanks Dragon for coming here. Okay, how have you been so far?
Long time no see. I haven't seen the Sifu for many months. Yeah, the last few round was just online, probably live streaming on YouTube. So I'm very happy that you came and with Simu pop over to my place today in JB. Yeah, really honored, pleasure.
And we for the first time, as in me and my wife, for the first time went over to Mid Valley. I know there are a lot of Singaporeans have gone there on a regular basis, but this is the first time we're there. It's a beautiful shopping complex. Food there is wonderful, shopping there is wonderful. We had Chendo there, which is wonderful as well. Okay, so let's go back to property in Singapore, shall we? So maybe you give us a landscape right now. How do you think, what is the situation right now in the Singapore property space, specifically between HDB, condo and landed?
Okay, I think that, well, let's go back to what is 2 years ago. I think that I've been attending your platform 1M65 to keep sharing. 2 years ago, I was so bullish and I'm spot on. 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So right now is 2 years, moving forward into 2023, ending of 2023, we're going to 2024. Now, typically, if you really follow the video of my sharing with Sifu here on 1M65,
Lu.
Sifu, yeah, Mr. Lu, yeah, Sifu. On 1M65, typically all the prediction come quite spot on. Now, question, if you have noticed on the trend, property transaction volume, the highest or the peak was actually 2 years back. As compared right now in 2023 compared to the 2021, typically there's a sudden drop in the volume transaction.
How much drop you're talking about?
For example, for landed wise, 2 years ago it was around 2,800 sales transaction or resale transaction. As of September to October, probably is around 1,000 plus minus.
What?
So it was dropped from 2008 to currently around 1,000 or 1,000 plus.
Wow.
So I haven't finalized the figure.
About 2/3 drop.
Yeah, so it's about a 2/3 drop in terms of course, the prices went escalated probably from an inter-terrace freehold that was around 2.5 to 2.8 million to now 4.5 million.
Wow.
So currently I can see that, of course, buying landed is a different game. The buyer who can well afford are getting a bit more chuan also, breathless. But true enough,
why?
From 2.8 million it become 4.5, another 1.7 million quantum.
They can choose not to buy.
Yeah, they can choose not to buy, but typically it depends on individual. Some people they just want to own Chanel handbag, Hermes handbag. They want to own RM, Richard Mille. So this is a very personal thing.
Yeah,
all right.
That's true.
So there are people who go away out, and because 2 years back interest rate was around 1.4%, right now was around 4+% for floating.
4+.
4+% for floating.
Wow, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Sure.
So in terms of transaction volume for landed, it has went down a lot. For new launch, now 2 years ago, the new launch transaction was around 13,000. As of now, the total number of transaction probably is over around 6,000 plus minus. We haven't come to December yet. I'm still gathering. So what I have observed around me is that those agents who are pure doing projects, they are having a hard time.
When you say project, means new launches.
New launches project. they are having a hard time closing because since transaction volume is half, meaning that the number of cases is half as well. Unless he's a lucky one, and he has all the God's favor. He's a lucky one, and being on closing, all this while. Typically, based on the data itself, agents who are focusing more into project new launches, typically I would say that they will be lesser.
By what kind of quantum we're talking about?
It depends on what they are focusing in. If they're doing the mass market or now compared to 2 years ago, probably the income will generally reduce by half since the volume reduced by half. So it's a math thing, it's a mathematical thing.
But I see Jayden 100% sold out in a flash and things like that, and it's Jurong, it's not like Bukit Timah or Orchard Road, and it sells better than bubble tea, I'm not grumbling because my house is just 10 minutes away from Jayden, right? It's not walking distance, not so far away, which hopefully I will enjoy some spillover effect. But my point is that it looks like everything's still so red hot market.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because for Jurong East itself is deemed as a second CBD. So you see the demographic of how Jurong East developed, the transformation. Most of the major buildings, shopping mall, even Ng Teng Fong Hospital is well connected with this called I think it's J Walk, right? There's this bridge called the J Walk. So Jurong is something very different compared to other estates. Demand is generally higher as well because since it's deemed as a second CBD with a lot of business park there, or not business park, international business park, and more development around the area. Now, question, because Jayden itself is only 380 units, around there, 360, 380 units, exact figure, it's just off my mind. And then starting at an average of 2004 to 2005 PSF and getting around 300 buyers from Singapore is not hard. All over Singapore, it's not hard. If you really base on, or you follow me on TikTok under Dragon Tan, I just did a collate based on the YA2022. Now there are around 8,000 plus income earner who clocked more than 1 million in the year of 2021.
A year.
A year. Another 24,000 plus, their total annual income is around easily 500k per year.
So altogether,
We have around 33,000.
Above $500,000 income.
Correct. Above
So for them,
$500,000.
close one eye also can buy this and pay up.
So typically, if I'm a project agent, I just focus on this segment of buyer to bring them to buy Jayden. Or probably recently we have Watten House that sold at this 3,002 average PSF. It can hover from 6 million all the way to 50 million. So it's not going to be tough as well. So long you focus on finding the right buyer. Of course, this is the minority. Majority of Singapore, I would say 50% of the population, based on the YA 2022, the total annual income is less than 60k. And these are the people who are probably, we understand them because I have met across a lot of mass market as well. We understand them and I understand them. These are people who also are trying to make ends meet in the midst of this high inflation scenario.
So basically, there's this segment they are super price insensitive because their income is just so high.
Yeah, very high.
But there's another half of the population that are struggling, and maybe another 40% or so that are generally more okay and things like that.
Sandwich,
sandwich,
probably that they
that's
have
a
more
good
than enough to go for holiday.
I see.
Saving
Okay.
as well.
So you mentioned about interest rate. What is the interest rate right now we're talking about?
I guess that for the fixed rate, if you're going to take a mortgage loan based on a fixed package, probably can get around 3% to 3.1
Okay.
for 2 years lock-in period.
Okay.
For the floating, is easily 4%, 4.5 all the way to 4.8.
Wow.
Because it's floating.
Okay.
So, Sifu, so you already grown back because you have your expertise in economy itself. Unless the interest rate is really dipping next year.
Well,
Right.
I think the interest rate, there's a chance, I think it cannot be 100%, there's a chance that the Federal Reserve in US will start pushing down the interest rate maybe in the second half of 2024.
Second half, right? Yeah.
Maybe, okay? And if that will happen, then the interest rate in Singapore will start to fall. If not, the Federal Reserve have been saying that they only see interest rate coming down in 2025. So in the base case is that everybody has to hold tahan this interest rate for 1 more year.
Okay, because over the past 10 years, typically the fixed rate is always higher than the floating. But this time round, over the past few months, 6 months or so, the fixed rate is much lower than the floating. And fixed rate generally is a forward-looking of the economy over the next 1 year.
Well,
So it can be a telltale sign as well.
yeah. But when we talk about a difference of, last time people used to pay 1.5% or something like that.
Wow.
Now it become 4.5. So let's say a typical mortgage, let's say we take a loan of, let's say 1 million over, what's the typical loan period now?
Okay, the loan period is 30 years, but probably for people who are buying condo, probably they're in their 40s.
Yeah,
And let's be
40s.
fair, probably 45.
Yeah.
And probably they are taking, for the start, they're taking a loan tenure of 20 years.
Sure.
If let's say they're taking 1.5% loan tenure over 20 years,
That's in the past.
yeah, and then they're taking a loan of 1 mil, probably the installment is around $4,000 plus.
Okay.
As compared to right now floating 4.5%, let's say, I just take a figure here, 4.5, it can be 6,000 plus. So there can be an extra payment of installment around
2,000.
probably 1,500 to 2,000.
2,000.
So of course, and then I haven't factored in the sunken cost, the MCSD, the management fee, this and that.
Wow, we'll come to the management fee in a short while. So this interest rate jump, and a lot of people were under the fixed rate package for the last 2 years. Most of them are coming out of it really.
They're doing really fine.
Okay, and now if they're doing a refinance, easily they'll kena the high one, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
so are you feeling the pain of having it right now? I see people in the 186i Telegram group. Please join us there. Now they are lamenting that wow, they are now hit with 4.75, 4.8, 4.5, that kind of thing. I think it's quite painful, no? I think I was just saying, how many of us have this ability to just, this is $2 million, buy a condo, right? I think most of us, I would say 99% of us will take a loan, right?
Yes.
So all of us will be hit. All of us will be. Are you facing the pain right now? Oh, no big deal. I always feel that I look at all this red hot property, $1.5 million HDB, all this. I think Singapore, like, very rich, eh? I don't feel so rich, okay?
You mean the HDB?
No, I mean, whether HDB or condo, people buy it like, close one eye, close two eye, just buy buying like bubble tea like that,
The fundamental is still very strong.
Yeah.
Because the top 20% are probably earning an annual income of 200k at least above. So these are the group of the buyers who are supporting the market.
I see.
So this segment of buyer. So I think overall it depends on the employment data as well. So I'm following closely about the employment data. If they start to have a mass retrenchment, that's why I repeated, my words are always consistent. 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and even today, it's always consistent. If they start to have some kind of mass laying off, number one. Number two, high interest rate, then probably you will see correction in the property price. However, given the high interest environment right now, of course, buyer can choose to refi to the fixed rate that is around 3%. Feel free to contact me if you are curious about the refi on bank loan.
I'll put up his contact in the description. You all need to sell a house or for refinance a house, go look for him. Don't look for me. I'm not a real estate agent. A lot of people ask me about buying house.
I guess they trust your knowledge, expertise as well.
I'm very good. I suck the brain juice out of him.
I mean, just sharing. I just have to share.
Okay, so maybe let's go to the next small topic, which is on maintenance. Okay, recently there was a dairy farm, a new development that just came out. The developer promised them, I think $280 or $250, and now suddenly becomes $700. Okay, so it's $700, and then I got people telling me, my maintenance is 1,000, right? 1,000, 1,002 or 800. So, and I got people telling me mine is 400, mine is 500, mine is 300, right? So, is there no such thing as a average, or because some people provide more services, some people are less, like, what is the norm,
Okay, the norm for the maintenance fee. Now typically for the mass market, we're talking about the mass market. That is, all the gang saying gang, all the gang, we call it the outskirt. Typically the ideal, probably the reasonable monthly maintenance is around $300 per month. Currently I'm paying around $286. but 300 is quite fair. But
Is
if let's say
EC
happen,
lower than condo?
EC, it depends on the year that it was launched and the year it was completed, and it depends on actually go back to the amount of facilities. If a development has too much or too many fanciful facility, of course, end day things will get wear and tear. The MA will require a lot of cost or sunken cost to so-called to maintain the facilities as well. Things will just go up. Now, so back to the question. Now, right now for this dairy farm is a mixed development. Now, typically the maintenance fee for the mixed development, it tend to be higher. Confirm one. Even my I have a very close client.
Why is it so?
Not one but three. They have they bought Star of Coven. So the maintenance fee is easily $400+, even for the 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom. So this is generally the cost is higher. Technical wise, I'm not pretty sure, but all along the property that I have ever sold, whether is it mixed development, integrated, is always higher compared to those normal condo, pure condo by itself or EC.
I see. Okay.
Now, question is that 1 month $700, it can be a bit high on the high side.
Is it because of inflation?
Okay, according to one of my, I have a buyer who bought a dairy farm, called me as well. That was 1 month. So when he relayed the news to me, I was also shocked as well. I don't know how to comment, to be honest, because back then it was printed 280. So I think that they have met they form a committee. They have met a developer to discuss further.
I see.
Which details I don't know.
I see.
But this according to his tele conversation with me.
So bottom line is that when you buy a private house, especially a condominium, do expect a much higher maintenance compared to HDB. I think HDB, my one is about 110, 120 or something
Even
like that.
for town council,
Yeah.
Oh, so high.
120, but they are 3 months.
Oh,
No,
yeah, correct.
mine is because mine is a masonette, so it's a bit bigger, so I pay more. But they give a few free months, so I think blended is about 100. Yeah.
EA Jumbo used to be $50, $60
Okay.
20 years ago.
Okay.
During my parents' time, they own Jumbo. So it's around $50, 60
20 years ago, you can get chai peng at $2-3.
So right now it's double. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So anyway, so what's the rental market right now doing? How's it now?
Okay, the rental market, it depends on two elements. Now, the element is that it depends on number of supply in the market. And this year alone, we have around 20,000. All the mega launch, gigantic launch. For example, that TOP, like Momentum Park, Kent Ridge, we have Florence Residences, Affinity Garden, I think TOP last year, and then we have 2,000 plus unit in Tampines itself, Treasure at Tampines. So when all these condo are TOP, there are two category of so-called owner. One category is buying for pure investment, that is to rent out. Another is probably for own stay. So we have a surplus of 20,000. So this can be an issue where there are more supply in the market for the renter. Now question, if you notice the statistic for our population, last month or 2 months back, I remember, our population went all the way up to 5.9 million. Wow, our government说一就是一，说二就是二。They are in align with the white paper.
Yeah.
That is the white paper population 6.5 to 7 million by 2013. This was discussed
2030, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
This was discussed 6-7 years back. Back then on the white paper.
I think they close one eye can meet that number already.
During the COVID, our population actually went down
Sure.
from 5.6 million to 5.4. And then over last year, May, when the border opened, if you all remember the video that I shared on Mr. Lu's
Sure.
platform, wow, the rental was moving very fast. No need to view house one. They just offer, they just move in, the tenant. A lot of aspect came in. But I never expect 500,000 more expect foreigner came in to stay. So right now we're at 5.9 million. I think we are aligned and we are on track to the white paper population.
Sure. So now the rental market has softened.
Lately it has softened a lot.
A lot?
Yeah, softened a lot.
Okay.
Not in terms of pricing, but in terms of response.
So
Softened a lot because a lot of supply coming to the market.
I see.
And let's not forget, people who buy the launches, Treasure at Tampines, Kent Ridge, Florence Residences, probably they don't want to pay the ABSD back then, 2 to 3 years back.
Sure.
And then probably they are renting HDB as well.
Sure.
So right now they have to vacate the renter on the HDB side or condo to move into these newly TOP projects. And then meaning that there are more supply of HDB rental coming out. So I'm still monitoring. So long that the overall economy in Singapore is doing well, because Singapore is going against the tide, Mr. Lu.
Yep,
Really going against the tide.
it is.
A lot of economy around Asia are not doing well. 金垂湾.
Sure.
Even in China, 大学生找不到工作.
Yes.
But our Singaporean very homey.
Good government.
We have a very
Super
capable,
good
efficient
government.
government.
Super good government.
Yeah, don't get me
And
wrong.
still got people can't pay, vote the government out, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You can never get this.
Yeah.
Because we have a good akong.
It's not perfect. I also criticize them.
Yes,
But-
also can't pay also.
Generally, really, we are really defying gravity.
I have to cut
Yeah.
in already because
Yeah.
when you travel around the world, then you start to see,
Yeah,
wow,
exactly.
新加坡是最好的，
Exactly.
其实。
Yeah.
So okay, so back to the
Rental.
Back to rental. Monitor on two things. So long the MNC are coming to invest here, start to employ more and more people, population growth, you will help the rental to go to next level. However, if the economy start to turn around next year, because people copy say, wow, recession coming in US, because they're trying to slow down the economy. So I don't know how will this impact Singapore next year when we are open economy. Of course, we need to have a good government to stir and to co-pilot the flight for us. So 2 years ago, last year, I'm very bullish. But for next year, to be honest, based on the current status quo, unless the interest rate start to dip next year in the second half, probably I believe that there are still some buyers on the sideline. They're waiting. If the interest rate drop, maybe I will rush in to buy. But the price not exactly, no drop, no dip. If let's say that happen, so I'm thinking, always thinking, will the price go to the next level when the buyers start to rush in when the interest rate drop again? So another question, we don't know.
Okay, so it goes back to the big question that everybody wants: will my house value goes up or come down? Okay, and I think there are three groups of people. Number one is they own HDB. Number two, they own condo, and third, they own landed. Right. So question is, will it go up or down? Okay, maybe give your perspective.
Let me touch on the HDB because
Sure.
most of us are average Singaporean. We start from humble background for the majority
I
of
still
us.
say HDB.
Yes, for the 77% of us who stay in a HDB. Now the HDB market has been on record breaking over the last 3 years since COVID,
Sure.
non-stop. Now, question from what I see is because there's a policy that was introduced over last few rounds, especially there's one that increased the grant up to 180k. So when you increase the grant, it means that there's no stimulants. You stimulate the market. So of course, this thing is not going to happen overnight. The prices jump, but because when there's a stimulant in the market, you stimulate the market. Generally, the price will keep on pushing higher and higher. Of course, government do their best. Private property owner who want to sell their private property, they cannot buy HDB. They'll bar. I mean, based on 30th September 2022 last year, the measure bar them from buying HDB for 15 months. Of course, it helped to the so-called slow down the process where the HDB prices escalate. However, you see the property prices for HDB, the record breaking for 1 million come one after another.
1.5.
Or 1.5. If I'm not wrong, the number of 1 million HDB that's been transacted this year and last year, not much different. It's about the same. So this show and reflect how strong and fundamental Singaporean is. Yeah. So this is my own view. And then of course recently there was this measure they introduced on Standard Plus, meaning that anything that's near MRT, alright, in future from second half onward, those launches, you have an MOP of 10 years, you cannot rent out. When you sell, you need to pay back the subsidies. This in fact has affected the resale market again. Buyer will tend to think that since this is going to happen over the next few years, they buy now. They buy any HDB existing that's not affected by the new ruling near to the MRT, causing the price to push up. So this is the overall. So there's no perfect policy. Of course, government is doing their best. And it's impossible to make everybody happy lah. Seller happy, buyer not happy. Buyer happy, seller not happy. Wow, 做政府金刚 call. Yeah.
What about condo and landed?
Condo wise, resale transaction went down as well in terms of volume.
Prices softened a bit, right?
Prices, of course.
Depending where.
Depending where. Certain MOP project like EC, ISC. Wow, okay. I have EC owner who actually reaps around 700 plus K of profit margin from day one, 7 years ago. Recently, I just helped them to sold. That was a few months ago.
Sure.
So it depends on project. Certain project resale generally are getting slower and slower. And right now, typically, if any of you who know me and who has spoken to my client, I told you already, November to December is the worst time to market because it's winter hibernation. Because everybody going overseas, you take a look at Facebook, 每个人在日本, everybody in Japan, in Taiwan, right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Landed wise,
Landed wise,
Parsi also won't drop one.
I think the buyer need time to internalize
Sure.
the new price tag. Definitely Singaporean, the top 5% income earner or the top 2%, more than half mil. These are the people who probably it's very affordable for them to buy landed. Every year 500k, 10 years is 5 mil. So what is
Sure.
4.5 to them?
Sure.
So these are the group of buyers who will buy the top 2% to top 5%.
I see.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I think what you're saying is that the one key event is if there's a recession.
Recession plus loss of job,
Yeah.
and because a lot of buyers or a lot of homeowners who are owning luxury condo, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, even to landed, most of them both husband and wife are working profession. So should
And
one
they need their salaries to pay for
money expenses.
and also for their mortgages.
Correct.
At least in part or if not in full.
And generally, when you stay in a more atas place like landed, typically they tend to drive a Continental and above like Porsche, Maserati, because it's about maybe like that face value. I don't know why. Yeah, you can have 3 people stay in a big landed as well. It's about face value to me. Yeah, because end of the day, 都带不走的嘛，一草一木都带不走。
True.
What we need is just a roof over our head night time to
True.
shelter us from the rain. Right?
And a nice family.
So if let's say one of the couple lost their job and then interest rate shot up, of course right now, it tend to be more subtle around 3%, or it can be a stressful. So far, I will find a lot of fire sales here.
I see. Okay. So to sum up, what you've been saying is that the market has slowed down tremendously. Okay. Prices are still holding there, but there are a lot lesser sellers and a lot lesser buyers. Okay. That's why. But we are seeing prices holding. The rental market has softened. Okay. But the rental has gone down maybe a bit, but the rentals have gone down much more.
We still need to monitor,
Okay.
because we still need to monitor whether are there more assets coming in.
I see.
What's the population
Okay.
growth?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But of course, my advice to the youngsters who are in their 30s, when you're young, just chom. But when you reach a certain age, like 40s to 50s, job security is always a question mark. I never promise my client, hey, just go buy big and big and big. No, because I cannot promise you that you'll always
Yeah.
be of job security in your 40s and 50s.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Okay.
everything we just do it within our safety net, comfortable, sleep well, 面子放一边, it's okay.
Yeah.
End day, just be happy, enjoy.
So just to dispel certain myth, Mr. Lu is not against property investment. Mr. Lu is against overstretching yourself into property, which is happening in a lot of Singapore, property purchases. Okay. So with this, thank you, Dragon Tan, for sharing with us, all these insights, and we look forward to you giving us an update again. Okay. And for those who haven't watched it, there is a video of Dragon Tan in his new condo that he rented in Mid Valley. It's a very interesting live concept. You all should take a look at that. Okay. With this, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Okay.
Okay, all the best.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.